guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. So it is the first week of February, which means that it is time for a new OC video. Now, if you haven't seen any of these videos, this is a series. I would recommend you watch the first video, Haley's video, if you want context. Also, please subscribe. I've been trying to hit 2K for a while now, and we're so close, we're almost there. So please, hit that subscribe button. And on with the video. So this is Crystal, and she's a goblin. I feel like I made this world with so many different potential creatures I could make everyone, and then it's like they're all human. But here we have a goblin. She's not human. And she was actually originally an adoptable. The photo you see on the left was the one I actually made when trying to win her. And honestly, she hasn't changed that much since then. The image on the right is the most recent drawing I have of her before this video. So things are pretty similar, honestly. So as always, I'm going to go through her old story and kind of talk about some of the issues I have with it. And then we'll go through her personality, then we're going to talk about her design changes, and then we're going to talk about her new story, and then I'm going to make a final drawing to kind of test out her design. So, okay. When it comes to her old story, there wasn't really much. There was something that I vaguely had a concept of at one point, because I was in the phase where all my characters had to have tragic backstories and can't just exist. But honestly, I don't want to talk about that. I didn't explore it that much, and either way, it's not something that's really YouTube appropriate, so we're not going to do that. We'll just talk about her role in this story that I had envisioned at the time. So, Crystal was kind of meant to be a bully to the main crew, kind of antagonistic, because I didn't really have any villains or any problems planned out yet. I didn't even have a story set up, just kind of general character arcs. So she was my first conflict that I had planned. I guess anti-hero is probably a more accurate word, because she'd cause some trouble, but she was also kind of chill with them. I don't know. It was never anything too serious. And, sometimes they would work together on things. I don't know if that makes sense. But, just petty high school drama. She wasn't meant to be a big bad, just a tiny roadblock for some little conflicts here and there. Also she was kind of into Eevee originally, and was really a jerk about it. She would constantly belittle people around Eevee and build herself up to be see, I'm so much better than these people, why are you hanging out with them? So yeah, that was also a thing that happened. But as time went on, Crystal was my most recent design. So I was starting to get into the problem where I wasn't enjoying drawing my characters because I didn't like their designs. And I loved Crystal's design. She was so fun to draw. So I started to really like her character. And so I eventually kind of turned her into just one of the main characters. And yeah, that was pretty much it for her. So originally her personality was I put in my notes here, a girl boss. I don't know if that makes sense, but she was kind of rude, very flirty. She would not joke flirt, but she would flirt with everyone. Just really confident, bold person who is really okay with manipulating people around them and doing whatever the heck they want. And now she honestly has a lot of similar traits still. Still kind of rude, very confident, not really an empathetic person. But now they're a lot less intentionally mean. they're not like evil anymore as much as they're just neutral. They care more about their goals and themselves more than other people's, but they don't like go out of their way to hurt people unless it like benefits them. So like they are rude and kind of mean, but it's not just for the sake of being rude and mean. Usually it's tied with some benefit to them. After I'd figured all this out, what I want to do with her personality-wise, I knew it was just time to jump into designing her. And honestly, like I said, she was one of my newest designs, and I was already really into her design, especially the way I had drawn it most recently. I really like how like blocky her pigtails are, so I knew I wanted to keep that. Her hair is fairly similar, and I want to try and keep her color palette, but I knew there are some things I'd have to work around. So for most of these designs, with the exclusion of like Avenir and like only her, most of my characters are centered around one color or two colors. And Crystal's old design had three main colors in it. There's the green of her skin, there was blue, and then there's the red of her jacket. And I really like these colors, but I didn't know if there was a way I could make them fit together better so that she fit with all the other characters. Because like looking at Avenir and how she has so many different colors going on, I feel like she's gonna stand out compared to all the other characters. And I don't want that to happen. So after I had like sketched out her design, I did 3 different color swatches. Is that what they're called? Color tests? I don't remember what people call them. But I tried a blue based design, I tried one that was all red based, and then one that was blue and red. The blue and red one looked like it was promising, and the blue one looks like it could work. The red one, like, I really wanted to like it, but that was not it. It wasn't gonna work. So I tried to make the red and blue combination work out too, but eventually it wasn't working. So I sadly accepted that I was gonna pretty much make her design all blue and green, even if I really liked her red leather jacket. So then I guess it's time to talk about her new story. So now I've tried to give, like, in the original she did have a very distinct role, which is nice because a lot of my characters didn't have that, and a lot of them still don't have that. But in terms of like plot progression and character arcs, she was definitely very good at having a distinct role and pushing everyone else's character development or pushing the plot. So I want to make sure she still does have distinct roles, even if she isn't as much as an antagonist. I feel like she's still going to cause a lot of conflict because that's just part of her personality, but I still want to give her other roles. So Crystal is actually the first one out of the main cast who was born in Maine High. So she was like born in this dimension, was raised here. This is where she's lived her whole life. She's never been on Earth, never lived there. Because of that, she kind of serves as, how do I put this? She's definitely responsible a lot of the time for connecting the main cast to Maine High and explaining some things about it. Kind of like how in Harry Potter, since Harry doesn't know anything about the wizarding universe, Ron has like the kind of street smarts that he provides Harry with about like the wizarding world a lot. Then Hermione has that like book smarts that she brings to the table a lot to help connect Harry to this universe and make him and the reader understand it. So Crystal is going to help serve in that role. She's also like kind of famous in the main high dimension. unlike Peach, who was famous, okay, famous is a stretch. Unlike Peach, who has some popularity in the Earth dimension, Crystal has some popularity in the Main High universe because she's a famous cosplayer. So, I guess whatever the Instagram equivalent in the Main High dimension is, she does cosplays on there. And she's pretty popular because she's pretty good at it. And also because hot woman. What more can I say? She also really likes anime, so a lot of her cosplays are like anime based. And in general, she just really likes a lot of TV shows. She's very into Earth shows as well. She likes both like shows that are made on Earth and some that are made on Main High, though obviously there aren't as many like pieces of media coming from Main High because it's a much smaller civilization. But she, like, I feel like she's very fascinated by Earth shows since she does understand how magic works. I feel like the more boring shows that are just set in like normal Earth are also interesting because they have like a lack of that sort of magic. And you know, being in a universe that does have magic as a norm, that is kind of like a weird foreign universe to live in as well. So just as we would like gawk isn't the word, but just as we're fascinated by like magic in different shows, she's fascinated by non-magic in shows. But besides that, honestly, like, this is usually where I put a dark tragic backstory, but honestly, Crystal just doesn't have that. She's just kind of got the least drama, I guess, of everyone. And I feel like that's part of the reason that she's so unempathetic and kind of rude, because she hasn't had to deal with like much hardship in her life. She is trans, so like the most she faces is usually like online hate since she's a trans cosplayer. Honestly, that's just, you know, made her care for people even less. So in general, she doesn't really connect to people that well and like understand prioritizing their emotions because she hasn't really had to experience that serious of a struggle in her life. So yeah, she doesn't know how to connect to other people's struggles. And after all that, felt like it was time for the final drawing. Now, I'd only really established like one clear point to make a drawing based off of, and that was obviously her cosplaying career. So I just want to draw her working on a cosplay. So I want it to be a very cluttered scene, but also very peaceful at the same time. Like, I want there to be stuff everywhere, you know, like she'd be sewing, then there'd be papers and notes and like a wig somewhere, and like her phone playing an outfit, her phone playing a TV show, and then like a laptop also with like references on it. And I just want a lot of things going on, but I also want it to show like much more casual side of her, because I feel like to some degree she's always like putting on an act in public. Like, she tries to be the cool girl. Like, she tries to definitely separate herself from other people a lot. Because, you know, she's not really into the whole people thing, if that makes sense. She doesn't like making connections because she doesn't really care about other people that much. So she does kind of like put a barrier between herself and others since she doesn't really care. So I want to kind of show her at like in private when she can just be herself and show that kind of side of her. So yeah, I definitely want this to have a calm atmosphere, a more relaxed vibe to it, and just show her in her element. So this did lead to me like changing her outfit and putting her hair in a ponytail instead of pigtails, because I feel like her putting it into a ponytail is more for practical use. Pigtails are just aesthetic reasons. So while working, she'd probably have it in a ponytail. And then also, I want her in a more casual shirt. You know, she's not wearing her jacket either. She's not wearing boots, just socks, which, God, I don't want to talk about drawing feet in this. I feel like every time I talk about drawing feet or shoes, It always goes poorly. I just kind of gave up here, especially with the posts. I was struggling a bit. I don't know, there is so much with the start of this drawing that was just difficult. Like how she's angled is kind of weird, her left shoulder is kind of wonky, her right arm's kind of long. Her legs were very long at the beginning, so I tried to put them back into proportion. Her feet are weird. You know, I can go on like this forever. It was a struggle. I think the coloring made it a lot less noticeable though, which is good, but it was difficult. Then I also want to have like a specific outfit in mind so that all the pieces could be connected and I could have some sort of direction. So I did base the whole entire cosplay she was making on Hatsune Miku, because I don't know, I think it's because she has blue hair and also pigtails, so I was just thinking of Hatsune Miku for some reason. So yeah, the whole outfit, like the wig is blue with pigtails. What she's sewing looks to be Hatsune Miku's skirt, and then like all the papers are gonna have different elements of Hatsune Miku's outfit or references of her. After I'd finished drawing her, I tried doing this like carpet background, but I honestly really hated it, so I just scrapped it and did like pink wallpaper and then a darker pink carpet or like floor. I didn't do a carpet texture for it since I didn't like that last time. Then I did her hair texture and added a clipping mask and made all the line art besides like direct outline of her, just darker shades of the colors I was using to color her. I feel like I tried to describe this every time and it never worked, but once again, you can visually see it. Then I made a rectangle and used the perspective tool and copy and pasting to put these little rectangles all over the floor, and then I colored them to make them papers, and I drew little like clothing designs or references on all of them. Then I made the wig, so I had this little like mannequin head and just put hair over that. Then I put some fabrics around the room, and I didn't do as much clutter as I was originally envisioning because honestly this drawing took a while as is. So I kind of cut off here. I didn't do any phone with a TV show or a laptop. I mainly didn't do the laptop because perspective and I was not in the mood, but I just added a final white outline around her to make her pop out more, and then it was done. And honestly, I really like this drawing. I think it's one of my favorite OC drawings I've done, and that's probably just because like Crystal looks very pretty woman. I don't know, her face is very beautiful. Can you sim for your characters? Is this a thing I can do? I don't know, she's just very pretty and I love her. Anyway, if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also comment any questions you have about the character or the universe. Also make sure to follow all my social media in the description below, and I will see you all next week.